Hello, all. Welcome to episode 7 of Top 5. Top 5 is where I will take a professional wrestling topic and rank my top 5 occurrences for that topic. In this episode, I will be ranking my top 5 favorite tag teams. First, I want to apologize for not posting a video since January 1st. I have had a lot of irons in the fire recently, so my YouTube channel has had to take a back seat. I hope to be able to create more content and post on a more frequent basis from here on out. Tag team wrestling has always been a favorite of mine to watch since I became a fan of professional wrestling. I love to see the strategy that is employed by a tag team that really knows their stuff. There have been some awesome tag teams throughout the years, and I will be giving you my 5 favorites, starting with number 5. Oh, you didn't know? As soon as I heard that, I knew I was about to witness a fun match. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn were always capable of putting on a good show. Whether they were in the babyface role or playing the heel, I always liked what they brought to the table. The Outlaws were 2 singles wrestlers whose careers were floundering. And if I remember correctly, they were in a program against each other at one point. But they were put together to see what they could do, and they exceeded any expectation that was set for them. After Shawn Michaels went on hiatus after WrestleMania 14, the Outlaws were added to D-Generation X. This gave them even more creative freedom, and they knocked anything out of the park that they were given. In my opinion, Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson were the most fundamentally sound tag team that has ever competed in professional wrestling. They could dominate a team of equal size or smaller with devastating maneuvers. They could compete with a team larger than them with a mat-based game and timely double-team moves, along with a little bit of bending the rules. Tully and Arn were the sugar and spice of the Four Horsemen. If dirty tactics were needed for a match, Tully and Arn were the ones to call to get the job done. When they moved to the WWF, they played the same role in the Bobby Heenan family. This team had memorable matches with all 3 of the teams that we will see later in this countdown in the NWA. When the team went up north, they had several marquee matches against the Hart Foundation, the Rockers, and Demolition. They were also the first team to hold the NWA and WWF Tag Team Championships. I know that there have been several iterations of this team. I am specifically referring to Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane. In my opinion, this was the best pair to wrestle with the Midnight Express name. This team was equally adept at playing the role of the babyface or the heel. I thought that they were far better as a heel team. If you gave this team an inch, they would, with the assistance from Jim Cornette, take the proverbial mile. Blood feuds with the Fantastics and our next team on this list made their matches must-see viewing. Stan Lane provided the strikes and a ground-based attack, while Bobby Eaton was one of the greatest high flyers in the history of wrestling. I can remember seeing him hit moves off the top rope during matches on the Saturday TBS shows thinking he was going to hit his head on the ceiling once he jumped. Plus, we can never forget the constant presence of their manager, Jim Cornette. Whether the team needed a timely shot with a tennis racket or a mouthpiece to talk fans into the building, the Louisville Lip was always there to provide a helping hand. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson have been a team for as long as I can remember. Believe it or not, they still wrestle as a team to this very day. I remember watching them for the first time in a steel cage against Ole and Arn Anderson. They took a savage beating in that match, but were able to come out on top. They have been able to dominate every tag team division that they have ever been a part of. Normally, Ricky Morton was the member of the team that would take the most punishment. He would be isolated during a match and would have to fight for 10 to 15 minutes to get to Robert Gibson to make a tag. Once the tag was finally made, the team would be a house of fire and more often than not would finish teams off with a double drop kick. This team should be on every wrestling fan's list as the greatest tag team of all time. Their list of accomplishments are far too lengthy to include in this video, but I will give the one that I think is the most important. They are the only team to have held the AWA, NWA, WCW, and WWF tag team titles. No other team will ever be able to make that claim. Hawk and Animal were a team that relied on brute strength and devastating moves in order to be successful. Either man could perform feats of strength that other wrestlers could only dream about. They could outmuscle any other duo that was put before them. Their wars with the Midnight Express, the Koloffs, Demolition, the Powers of Pain, and the Four Horsemen will go down as legendary. So there are my favorite tag teams of all time. I have been a fan of pro wrestling for 35 years, so I have seen a lot of teams come and go. These were the ones that stand out the most to me. If you think I may have forgotten a team, leave a comment below, and you can answer a question for me. This is my top 5. What's yours?